Welcome back to The Creative Herd. In this episode, I sat down with Braven, who's an up-and-coming artist, and he's just about to release his first EP. He's been making music for years, but in the episode, we kind of sit down and dive into his upbringing in music and how you learn to trust your gut when things sound good or maybe don't sound good, and the processes of what it takes to, just go from the ground up and build an EP and what it takes to actually put it out. So I hope you enjoy the episode. Let's get right into it.
Creative, talented people putting in hours and years of work that are like, they don't get noticed because they don't have branding, they don't have marketing, or they're not marketable.
I mean, just throw a chair off a balcony and make a music video.
I think that could be your PR campaign. That's all it takes. Like, sometimes I wonder, do they have people literally finding them, telling them do these crazy things and we'll make you a star? Because it wouldn't be crazy to me, personally.
I can't even fathom why she did that.
No, dude, I don't know how your brain doesn't work. Like, oh my gosh, that's crazy to me.
I try to give like a little intro before the episode actually starts.
Yeah.
But if you had to give your own intro,
damn,
what would it be?
I would just probably play a guitar because I hate talking. No, I guess I would just say that my name's Braven. I'm an artist. I'm 23 years old. I've been doing music for over 15 years. I'm self-taught. I write and produce my own stuff, and I'm basically, this year, I'm finally trying to come out strong and not doubt myself, not hold myself back, because I feel like I've done that for the last 5 years, and I just want to be out there it's Gary V, bro. Gary V changed every man's life. He was just like, put out content. Like, stop playing yourself.
You were making it, but just not putting it out.
Yeah, I was just keeping it in a laptop, keeping it in Chris's basement. Just the most low key, too scared to show anyone. And then I show people and they like it. Yeah. And then I'm still too scared to release it. What is that? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. But this year, you literally came in with a plan.
Yeah.
Starting in January, and it's like, all right, I'm going to drop a single, also a music video, and you recently just dropped another single. Yep,
that was it, bro. That's literally it was just you know what? It wasn't even really overly thought out. It was thought out, but a lot of it was fuck it, go. You have to go. Yeah. You're 23. You're not getting younger. The music industry is not forgiving. Yeah. And they're going to love it or hate it either way. Mm-hmm. So I was like, yo, man, I'm just ready. This year, I started going to the studio with Paul, my boy, Indigo Sun, and that's it. He was big on it's when I respect him a lot. I look up to him a lot. I met him at university, and it was just when he was telling me it's time to go. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, you have albums worth of music. You need to put something out. And it was kind of, let's sit down. Let's think of a kind of the best way to approach it off top. Mm-hmm. And then we kind of came to Streetlights, and then we elevated to She the Type, and we're hoping to move forward from there.
How old is Streetlights?
Streetlights is hella old. It's 3 years old now, because that's that's probably first 20 songs I ever produced, when I first learned how to use Logic and stuff like that. So it's way back. I'm pretty sure I was working at Green Envy. I was doing landscaping.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Green Envy days.
Green Envy days. It's old, bro.
What would you say you fit in most with, or maybe not even fit in most with, but what's your preferred, playing guitar, vocals, keys?
My definite home in music, where my heart is in music, is guitar. Yeah. That's what I've been doing since I'm 8. That's the thing I've had for 15 years for sure. Then I got into high school, and when we were doing theory, they were teaching us in vocal class. Mm-hmm. So it would be guitar and singing, because obviously if you can sing, you've been singing your whole life, kind of thing, Yeah. Most of your life probably. And then I got into high school, they were teaching us theory on piano, and I was like, yo, this is a 1-3-5. That's a triad. I'm like, oh, these are chords. Oh, this is easy, bro. And I started playing piano. And then I got out of high school, I got my Logic stuff, and I started producing. And that was the biggest learning curve, because that was more understanding a software.
Taking it to digital?
Yeah, moving into a digital program. And digital programs are sort of unforgiving. A live performance, if I'm lagging behind or something, nobody knows, nobody cares. But when you're playing to a metronome, click track, recording, it cares. It really cares. It's you suck. Oh, okay, let me just take this for the 50th time. No problem.
That's jokes.
But yeah, I would say guitars. That's the home for me in music. That's where I kind of center everything. That's where I'm most experienced.
Since you were 8.
Yeah, that's from 8.
So when you think of something like some sort of melody or something in your head, you pick up your guitar first?
Actually, sorry. So when I want to play music, like, yes, it's my guitar. Like, that's my most expressive thing. I don't have to think, and I can play at a certain level that's like upper level of musicianship, and it just is natural. For songwriting, I actually like to really sit down at a piano, figure out a chord progression, because for me, the piano, it's all by ear for me, like how I've learned, but the piano is the most visual because, like I said, I learned it with theory. Yeah. So I learned to connect them. Guitar doesn't have like white keys, black keys. It has 100, all these frets. Yeah. It's just like, I still don't know proper scale shapes. I don't know, bro. I just play. It just sounds good. Like,
you just have the ear.
Yeah. I know if that's a good note or a bad note. Like, is that right or wrong?
I find in the music world, like, I play guitar, but I don't have the ear for it. It's more of just like the years of like looking at theory and stuff. And I find that's like a huge thing with musicians. It's like you either have that people who literally can't even read notes, but they're fantastic at like just 100. Listening to like jazz and then just like play it back to you.
Crazy. Like, I wouldn't say I'm that person, like fully. Like, I have to sit down to regurgitate a track.
Yeah, but you're just listening off your ear.
Absolutely. And like, you can kind of pick up chord progressions and melodies over time. Like, Melanie Faye is a guitarist, bro, and she's like this younger girl. And John Mayer's co-signing her all the time. Like, you guys need to look at this girl. Like, she's unreal. And you listen to her talk, bro. She's like, I don't know theory. Like, I just play guitar. And I'm like, you're probably one of the best guitarists out right now. And you're just a young kid. Like, it's amazing. So it doesn't matter in music. The biggest thing, bro, I'll say to any person who wants to make music, trust your ear. Did your ear say that sounded good or bad? Some people's ears lie to them, but that's okay. But like, just trust that. If your stomach is telling you, nah, that's not it, it's not it.
While you were making music, over all those years before you started putting it out, like, what were your ears telling you?
Okay, my ears were telling me, nah. My ear, it's hard, bro. I don't know where the disconnect, I don't know which part it was. It was my mind or my heart or my ears that were telling me, like, no, it's not there. But I think it was all in my head. My ears knew it was good. Because, like, I'm like this 14-year-old kid turning his guitar up to 10, jamming along to the Black Keys, jamming along to Guns N' Roses. And, like, most parents are like, bah, 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 turn that down. My parents are like, bah, 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 sounds fucking lit. They're like, turn it up. Are you recording that? Are you not? What the hell's wrong with you? And I'm like, I'm just jamming, Mom. I have angst. Leave me alone. So, like, I've been being pushed. Like, when I went to university, bro, my mom's like, you're an idiot. Drop out and spend that money on an album. She literally said that to me verbatim.
Wow.
Like, I don't come from a typical background in that regard. Like, they've always pushed me to go to music. Go to music. Don't do the standard 9-to-5 route, which is a blessing, but at times it's a little problematic because they can put their nose a little further into it because they want to be so involved. Yeah. And sometimes it's like, yo, everything I've done up to this point was by myself as a result of me and my decisions. So please, like, offer your input. I love input, but you know those ones when your parents are just kind of like, this is the answer. You're like, this is fucking so not the answer. I shouldn't make a blues cover band. What are you talking about?
Man. I guess more so than it was just inside your own head.
It was big time.
Because if you had literally your parents pushing you, everybody around you, but that also might be the stem of the problem because everybody is telling you one thing. And you're like, well, I don't actually know. And then you're into this imposter syndrome of like, am I actually good or are people just like lying to my face?
That is so hitting the nail on the head, dude, because it was like, these are people that love me like unconditionally. They don't have a choice. It's my family. Like, of course my mom's going to think I'm the greatest person to ever pick up a guitar. Yeah. So how do you gauge that? And then the only people I was sharing it with were friends. So of course your friends are kind of obligated to tell you if they like it.
So it's like just bias across the board. Almost.
Was always bias. I never really had a person who didn't know me from another person to just give me some feedback. But that was because I was afraid. Like, I wasn't confident enough to just pick up a guitar and play for people, you know? Definitely was in my head, though.
How'd you get out of it then?
It was a big challenge. It's a lot of, you need to tell yourself that you're your own worst enemy every time. Like I'm the only person holding me back. Yeah. And I have all these expectations of what this is going to do and who's going to like it, who's not going to like it. And it's like, yo, the way that I'm in my head right now, every other person gets to be in their own head all day. So
facts.
That's happening with everybody all the time. They're going to make their own decisions based on everything that affects them in their life. So like I was assuming what people would think. And I think that's what was holding me back greatly. Because I'm like, nah, well, this person will like this song, but this person won't.
Yeah. And then like already making those decisions.
I'm assuming what people are going to think. What an idiot. Like, I'm so dumb. Like, I have no idea. Just like I said before, I thought that the Streetlight single would be like a demographic towards women. And when I look at my analytics, it's 56% men listening to it. So I don't know what people are going to think. I don't know what they want. I just had to basically say, okay, this voice inside my head is a bad guy. He's not a good guy. He doesn't want me to eat. So I need to just like shut him up and go and just put blinders on, bro. Set a goal. It was just like, have goals. If you make small feasible goals, like finish recording this amount of the songs by this date. Yeah. Be ready to consider releasing songs by this time. And then now it's really gotten deep and just be putting it out by now. Like this is we're going, 2 weeks from now, this is happening? Okay. You know, and you have to do it. So you got to kind of beat yourself and just say, the only person holding me back is me. Yeah. So I'm going to not listen to me anymore.
And stop because it's so easy to get in that overthinking journey of just like, these people aren't going to like it. This group of people, it's not for them. And like, you actually can't make those decisions.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh, I'm just deciding that group of people won't like it. Like, I don't know what they're going through. Maybe that song, maybe it's just really relevant at their life at that point, and that's why they receive it a certain way. You know what I mean?
Do you still have that like nervousness of when you put your tracks out anyways though?
Huge. Like, I don't think the nerves I'll ever be able to shake. Like, for me, I would way rather get up. It's a little bit different, but I'd rather get up on stage in front of 3,000 people than play for 3 people in a room. So, like, it's this weirdest thing about music. Like, there's a certain, like, when it's intimate, it's scary. So it's not scary when you're releasing music to the world because it's, like, so broad. But there's still that fear of, like, it could just take one really negative person commenting on something to trigger everyone else to be negative about it, you know? Because people are sheeple, yo. Yeah. Go on Instagram and look at the comment section on anything. Whatever the top comment is in the first one, everyone's just regurgitating that. Yeah. No one's offering you a dialectic look at anything. Like, you're not allowed to have two sides of a coin.
You've played shows before, though.
Yeah, I've played a couple.
But that was before kind of this journey of, like, not giving a single fuck.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually a really good point, because when those shows, like, you came out to them, those were trying to cater to people, was thinking, like, what does this community want? Because that was like a hip-hop driven idea back then. And it was like, what do people in hip-hop like? I need to fit into that while being different. I've always wanted to be different, but, like, I have to fit inside of a certain box. And that was like, that I realized that wasn't it. And the proof was in the pudding. I'm playing a bar with like 30 people and it's all my homies. It's not like random, like, it wasn't the way to go. The universe was telling me, like, it's almost, you're doing the right-ish stuff.
Yeah. It's just overcoming that, like, anxiety inside your head to what you said of, like, not fit in that box and just, like, journey outside and be like, okay, nobody, and acknowledge that, like, and be okay with the fact that, like, if I do this, as long as I like it and nobody fucking listens to it, I'm still going to keep doing it because I like it, and now I'm true to myself, and I'm just going to keep putting out music.
Bro, with She the Type, that was that song. Can I kind of dive into that real quick? Yeah, dude. She the Type was like, that was like right after like a breakup with this girl I dated for a long time, and I was at home, and I was beating myself up about it. And dude, I'm in my basement in my little like cook-up spot I had at the time where I had my piano out and stuff, and I was trying to make music because I was feeling so lousy. And like, I was so uninspired, and it was really concerning to me because I was in my favorite place I love to be. It was a sunny, beautiful day. It's like pouring in through the window. Man. It was like picturesque. It was a movie, bro. It was like the perfect setting to make music. And I went, dude, I'm not even really sad right now. I'm numb. Like, I just don't give about anything. Like, I don't give a fuck right now. I just would rather be sleeping. And I was like, that's so unhealthy. So I forced myself to write a song. I took an old chord progression from a song I wrote for her that was like a lovey song, and was like, bun that, I'm going to reflip this. And I wrote She the Type and recorded the original demo in like 30, 45 minutes. So like, it was super fast, super organic. And it was just like, that was one of the first times I beat the voice in my head. I was like, she the type, blah, blah, blah. She the type, this, that. Like, I wasn't worried about being repetitive. I wasn't worried about song structure. I was worried about forcing myself to feel something and putting it into a song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so this kind of like, it's honestly not giving a fuck that beats it. Because it was, I gave so many fucks. That's why I was down in that rut. Yeah. And I went, I have to give no fucks and just let that emotion be expressed.
Yeah.
And then for me,
literally raw of what you're thinking, unfiltered.
Unfiltered, just here we go. Like, I'm not worried about anybody's feelings. I'm not even worried about what you guys think of me. And She the Type is that, like, for me, that's my best piece of art. Like, I love it. It's so real and true to me that, like, I didn't care if 100 people said it's the worst song they've ever heard, or like the structure is weird, or this is unconventional in any type of way. I was like, honestly, at the end of the day, this is what I felt, and I had to share it with people. And I think that was such a big learning step for me to be like, yo, it made me understand that process of it doesn't matter what people think. Like, because even to this day, if everyone told me they hated it, I'd be like, this is my favorite song. I love listening to the song. I just want to go cry in a bathtub and listen to the song. It gets me going.
That's awesome. But yeah, the learning curve of like not listening to those voices in your head and overcoming that is definitely amazing. Does that carry over to now making music in the future?
Facts. Yeah. Once I beat it, it turned into full steam. So right now, like, I have an EP coming out shortly, probably within the next couple months, maybe next month. It's a 5-song thing. And from there, we already have goals ready in place. Like, it's honestly like once you build momentum too, man, it's so important to keep grinding.
Yeah.
Because people are only interested for so long, and you have that energy under your wings, you know? Like, it carries you. It really does. Like, the positive feedback and stuff like that, it helps you realize, like, okay, cool. Like, I'm doing something right. And, like, as long as you should be making your art for you always, regardless of people liking it. But when people are taking to it in some way, you should acknowledge it and try to cater to it a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
Give them content at least.
I do agree to that in terms of, like, I don't know what the right wording to use, because I don't want to go too far off on like bending to what people want.
Agreed.
But entirely. You do what you said, like, you do have to, like, give them like,
something.
One for me, one for you, one for, like,
exactly.
As long as you're still getting, like, what you need to keep going.
And as long as you're being genuine to yourself, like, you can still, like, I wrote a song called Gotta Say, and it was like, we were going for like a Calvin Harris kind of bop, like a summer bop. I don't listen to summer bops all day. I listen to sad ass music, bro. I like sad, melancholy stuff. Like, it just resonates with me better. And when I wrote it, it felt sort of unnatural, but I knew that I was giving people something they were familiar with and that they would like. And every time I've kind of showed people that, they're like, this is you? Like, you playing all this stuff? Like, what's going on? And it's just like, yeah, man, like, this is it. Like, it was kind of like a throwaway. It was like a pop song to me. But, like, it's from the limited people who've seen it, they loved it. And it's like, okay, so I need to give them that thing they know, they're familiar with, to turn them on to the thing that's really me, which would be more the She the type songs, things like that are just genuine.
Got it.
You know, so there's definitely the importance of what those people are
like,
thinking.
that's the route to, like, kind of win them over, essentially. I really feel like I'm excited for you, because I feel like 2019 is really going to be a sort of breakthrough year for you in the world of, like, making music and, like, getting that momentum, keeping it, and just keep building on it.
Thank you.
I think that's pretty fucking exciting to have an EP.
Yeah,
already coming out this early in the year.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, bro, I'm telling you, the amount of music that is sitting in a laptop right now. There's, like, years before that's just when I got into digital. Before that, there's years and years of singer-songwriter, learning how to write songs, like, the amount of content is actually, like, I know why people were smacking me in the back of the head and saying go, because it's just like, you have so much stuff done. And it's really what I was saying before. It's just trimming. Yeah. What's good, what's up to date still, and what do I think will hit home with people while encompassing what I want to be viewed as, you know? Yeah,
because now you have that, like, just more tuned ear as the years go on. Your ear
kind of
gets
pick
better.
up, and you sort of pick up how, like, what it is that takes to people's ears, you know? And now, having finally put stuff out, the importance again of putting stuff out is getting that feedback, hearing what is working and what's not working. And, like, it's just huge. It's an important thing to always be conscious of, is what these people are saying. At least you don't always have to give them what they want per se, but I need to know what's going on in people's heads.
What's your idea of just like making something and immediately putting it out? Like the balance of like sitting on music, like you've done that before, but you've kind of switched over to like.
I believe it's important to sit on your music at the start, at the very beginning of your career, like, because this is the beginning of my career to everybody's like what they're perceiving. Yeah. This is just all they've seen is now, so it looks like, wow, he's doing all this right away. It's like I have years invested. So at the start though, I was so ready to be like, I have 50 songs, you know, and just throw them at people. And again, my buddy Paul was just like, nah. He's like, bro, that's kind of not how you do it. And like, there was like this, like, you don't know, shut up. Like, I'm going to do it. But he knows, like, he's sold out Cameron House with his band before and stuff. Like, he knows. That's why he's my guy that I listen to. And if I hadn't had that person guiding me, I may have fouled my own name and my own image early on. So just at the start, when you know you're still, because I knew I was feeling out what my sound is and stuff, to at least have that filter of like, let me sit on this song for like a few months and go back. And if it still slaps, it still slaps. You know what I mean? That's like with Streetlights. That's 3 years I sat on that going, is this good?
That's insane.
Yeah. Oh man, there's so many like that.
I couldn't imagine sitting on a video for over a year and then going back to putting it out.
Shout out Paul. It was all his fault, bro. He made me do it. He was like, no, you're not doing it yet.
But like in that time, you immediately get so much better. So the things that people are hearing right now, like you're already exceeding your abilities.
Pretty well, bro. Like this stuff is dated more or less, not to discredit it in any way or try to like big my own head up, but like I know where my skill set's at now and where the people I'm working with, their skill set is at as well. And I know that it's higher than what I've shown people. She the Type is pretty relevant. It's an old song, but it's re-recorded and stuff. So it's kind of more accurate to what's going to be coming. And like the level we're at, production-wise, songwriting-wise, and all that stuff. But then it's still old, bro. It's just as old as Streetlights.
That like, just means the future is going to be sick.
Yeah, hopefully, bro. That's all I want. Because the EP is also kind of a chance of grabbing all those old songs and what's still popping and being able, it's the only chance I'll get to put it out because of where I am in my career. If I give you like album version Braven, that's like where I am now that we were just talking about, I can't go back. If I move backwards, people will be like,
make sense.
That's a regression. I'm very confused. How did you start sucking all of a sudden? But when you have a clean slate, no one knows what to expect of you. And that's where, again, holding your music at the start is important because people are a lot more forgiving at the start. So if you wait till you know you have a hard 7.5 of a song, you have a lot better of a chance than, because every artist, when they first make something, it's always 10 out of 10. Because your emotions are attached. You're like, I love this. This is the best thing I've ever done.
But if you give it a little time,
you should really sit on it.
It probably won't be a 10.
Yeah. You'll start seeing all the little like rounded edges and you're like, no, it's not. It's not there. It's not there. So there's the importance of that. That's that patience. Oh, I'm so sorry, everybody.
What was it?
That was a cell phone. Just pretend it wasn't $500 dropping on the ground. It's fine.
So right now, what's next for you currently is dropping this EP. Like that's biggest on your mind. Yeah,
that's the current next goal. The only reason I don't give you a final date is I don't want to set any final dates and pressure myself. Yeah. But it will be within it'll be within a month to 2 months maximum, depending on logistics.
Cool. What's like the process behind like writing and making an EP? Does this have a theme to it, or is it just a collection of your favorites from the past? It's
more of a collection of my favorites from the past, so it's a little bit harder to comment on the process for in this particular example because it's just a collection of older stuff. Yeah. So the process of all those songs was different and at different times as a result of different things. But there is kind of a general cohesive theme to the EP. Like, it's just kind of an honest retelling of like stuff that was happening to me in my life at that time
that hit home with you.
Yeah, and trying to kind of like paint a picture of just like who Braven is, like who am I? I'm like what am I about? What are the things that are important to me? And like also though, it's always important when I'm writing it to be just expressing what I feel like in that moment, like unapologetically, more or less. Like I'm trying to build a brand at the same time as being honest with myself about who I am. I don't want to sacrifice too much of the real Braven.
Yeah, I get that.
So, but the process was cool because my buddy Paul went to Metalworks and he got his engineering degree and stuff like that. Like, he's a certified engineer. So when he kind of showed me that the basement studio that we had been meeting up in at university was vamped up to a whole nother level, it really drove me to be like, yo, I'm ready if you're ready, dog. Like, if you're about this, I'm coming down. And so the biggest thing was going there every weekend and staying up till like 4 a.m. every day, repeatedly being in the booth for like 12 hours and just retracking all these songs, looking at what we have and being like, all right, we're going to start snipping. It's kind of, I feel like that's kind of the general process of most projects is like, you just build a collection of shit. And then you got to go, what has some cohesion and what is good?
Yeah, flush it out a little bit.
Yeah, you know, and like even like honestly, I think I'm cutting songs right now that I think are good, but they don't really fit with what we're trying to do. Doesn't make them bad songs, just that it doesn't have a whole idea. Like, it's not holistic. It's very just like, it'll look so eclectic. Like, I'm just pulling from every little thing because I have so many different sources that I draw my ideas from, you know what I mean? And all these different styles that I'm into, that it's like, okay, you kind of have to narrow it down.
Is there like one, because both singles that you already put out are vastly different.
Yeah.
Is the EP the same kind of road? Like, every song is a little bit different?
I will say they're all a little different, but I think I did a good job of having a general idea, like a theme through it. It's not like conceptual or nothing like that. It's just I don't even know what the hell you'd call the theme. Like, it's like about my life. I went through a big heartbreak. I went through the shock of leaving high school. You're important in high school because you're in a small little micro community. So if you have if you're well liked, when you go into the real world and it just shits on you and doesn't care who you are and you're cutting people's grass for $13 an hour, like, it makes you realize some shit, bro. Like, the world is unforgiving. Like, we've all been fed this idea, you're special, you're going to do great. Maybe I am special. Maybe I am going to do great, but not just because all you assholes told me. Like, there's hard work that goes into this.
100%.
And like, so getting kind of chewed up and spit out by the world, that took the carpet out from under my feet, bro. That shook me up. That grounded me for a long time, where was kind of part of why I didn't want to put stuff out. I was so used to like go sing at the talent show and people being like, you're amazing, la la la. And then you're making songs and like, no one's telling you you're amazing anymore. So like, you kind of have to feel it yourself, you know?
Yeah.
And then it's hard because I've always like, I don't want to not be humble. I don't want to be like, seem like some egotistical asshole that's like, I am the greatest ever. Yeah. But like, I know that I'm talented. I know that I'm a good musician.
That's a line too. That's a fine line between like staying humble and like pushing shit on people and like making them be like, you need to watch this because I'm good.
Yeah, it's hard.
But
and how do you sell something to someone and say, yo, check this out without kind of prefacing that you're good? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's such a hard balance to find because I'm like trying to tell people like, no, I genuinely think you will be interested in this. That's why I'm messaging you. I've seen the taste of music you like based on shit you share in your stories and stuff. And like, I think this is something that you would like. Yeah. And I have this experience, so I'm not just some duppy kid, you know? Because how many people are sending links all day to all kinds of people? And it's some kid in SoundCloud, I got the money, I'm sending my wrist. And you're like, it's like mixed like, and I'm like, oh my God, dude, who is in charge of this shit? Like,
actually, though.
Sometimes you question, you know, what's going on in people's heads when they put stuff out. And that was part of why I was afraid. You're comparing ourselves is deadly, bro. I'm sitting here comparing myself to people that are, I'm sorry, but trash sometimes. Like those guys that are SoundCloud rappers that are like, and I'm like, oh my God, man. Like, am I that bad? Do I sound like that? Like, you can't do it. You got to put the blinders on. You got to go.
Music is a little weird because the way to kind of get recognized is not really something that you can specifically do because it's a word of mouth thing. It's like you can share to a certain extent, but like you'll get more recognition from like sharing it once and then that person building the web. Like you can't really build the web essentially.
I have 2,000 something followers on my Instagram. I can share promo for my song 8 times in a day. I still reach the same 2,000 people.
Yeah.
You need one of those 2,000 to put it on their story.
Yeah.
Their
like that's the
platform.
way music kind of grows, because people share music. They don't really. There's not a whole. How much shit are you dropping?
Dude, you know how many things are in my pocket? Like, if dudes could wear purses, I would probably need one. God damn. Sorry, sir.
Isn't that a satchel?
Yeah, I have those, but I was afraid of judgment yet again. There's like 8 satchels in my house. I'm going to start bringing it back out more.
That's amazing.
Sorry.
The kit would have been insane with that sweater. It's a sick sweater, man.
Thank you, bro. Okay, so I'm telling the world about it. My dad roasted me before I came out. See that, Dad? You don't know, bro. This shit's popping. I got wolves. I got fuzzy fleece. It's dope. Thank you. I'm not listening to old people no more.
Man. I kind of wanted to talk about like your habits that you kind of built over the years, because there has to have been some other than like specifically targeting growth, other than just like picking up a guitar or sitting down at a piano when you feel like it.
Yeah.
To the point where you're like, I haven't done this in like over a month. I need to grow and sit down and force myself to get the bad ideas to come out so you can get those good ideas out and like identify them.
Absolutely.
Is there ways that you kind of noticed along the way that you're like, oh, okay, if I sit down 3 times a week, it's actually like...
I'm actually, ironically enough, kind of like on that side of what you said not to do. Like I sit and like wait till I feel it. Like I don't like to force myself to write too much. Like one of the habits I have is like I'll be sitting there and I'll come home from work. I'm tired. I'll go outside. I'll smoke a doobie, and then I'll be like bumping music. I'm always playing music. That's one thing that's definitive about me. Like I have headphones on or I have music out my phone. I'm that annoying guy walking down the street listening to his music. People look at me and go, fuck you, this song slaps. Like I don't even care, bro.
So you're like intaking. You're always like listening.
Constantly. I'm always trying to see. I follow pages on Instagram and stuff like that give me updates about artists I like or new music that's coming out. I even like to look at music that's just popping, that has good follow. Like I don't listen to Ariana Grande, but her album's on my phone. I was listening to Fake Smile before I came here. Or hey, break up with your girlfriend, I'm this or that, whatever the hell that song's called. Because it's relevant. It
just to keep up to date?
Yeah. It's to stay informed with what's selling and have an idea of that. Again, what's that thing that's familiar? Because whatever they're doing works. Ariana Grande's out here selling records.
Yeah.
So, and it's not that I don't like her music or anything. She's dope. She's an incredibly talented person. She's a great singer. It's just I'm not super into pop music and kind of upbeat dance stuff all day.
Yep.
But I still want to look at it to have an idea. So one of my habits is always having music going to constantly source information. But then I was listening to Ariana Grande, and then I was listening to Black Star right after, which is like, in my opinion, top 10 hip hop albums of all time. Like,
true.
Encompasses old school hip hop. You know what I mean? So like the sources I'm pulling from within 2 minutes of each other can be this side of the spectrum and this side. So I'm always just willing to intake good music.
So your brain's always doing something, listening,
constantly.
working.
Bro, when I was working at this factory, I was listening to some of my songs, and there's with my headphones in, and there's a buzz that came from the machines, like an ambient noise that was happening, and it was like in tune with my song. And I was like, holy fuck, I have to sample this. How am I going to sample this? I can't bring all these mics and stuff here. But like, that's how much my brain is going on music all the time. I just heard ambient noise that sounded fire and was like, I need it. It has to be in the song. Like, I don't turn that off. And YouTube, bro. YouTube and Google are your best friends. Everything you've ever wanted to know, anything you'll ever need to know is on there. You can go teach yourself. Stop spending your money on post-secondary education. Shots fired. You can do it on the internet, bro.
Dude, I agree with that.
Like, I really think if you can apply yourself and you know how to source good information from bad information, you don't need to get a fucking debt.
But there also becomes like, you need to have drive to self-learn.
Of course, yeah.
So if you're not really 100% in, then you're not gonna
do it.
Which is totally fine, but like the amount of people that spend money on school just to have a degree because that's what you do, and then come out with debt,
and no job,
and
they move back in with their parents and they're fucked up. They feel like, oh my god, I'm a failure. Not really. You're just playing a losing game. Like, you're literally not trying to break the mold, which is cool. Like, there's nothing wrong with wanting stability 9 to 5 and a white picket fence. Good for you. You'll live a happy life, but like, you're actually not going to impact anything. You're just meandering, in my opinion, when you follow the path that somebody's carved out for you.
100%.
Ask yourself why that path exists. Probably because people who are rich and empowered don't want people challenging their power or money. Like, you guys, like, people don't even think, bro. Like, and then I have people pointing fingers at me. Conspiracy theorist. Nah, conscious. Like,
True.
thinking, just trying to be aware of what I'm being fed all the time by society, and why am I being fed it? They feed us sugar, refined sugars. It's literally poison. I eat it all day. I fucking love it. That's all I eat. But, like, I acknowledge at least they're doing things that are to stifle you, you know?
As long as you can, in my opinion, acknowledge it, then you're on the right track.
Absolutely agreed. You don't have to know the answer.
Yeah.
You just have to be thinking.
Yeah.
As long as you're thinking about it.
At least make your own damn assumptions of, like, what's actually happening, rather than just be like, well, I said that on the TV, so that must be what's happening.
Or regurgitating your Facebook feed, like seeing like a story that gets shared, and you're like, bro, that's 2.5 minutes maximum of information you got, and you think that's this full story.
Yeah.
The guy that wrote that article researched it for 2 days, at least.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, and then they write with a bias, because everyone does that. And I just think we have no people looking at shit with a filter, bro. We're just like, spoon feed me, please. Like, this learned helplessness is so dangerous to society, bro. Sorry to rant a little bit about society and get off music there, but that's facts.
Yeah, no worries, man.
It's just where, like, that's kind of also, though, part of how I get to where I am with my music. That's part of what I want my music to be, is this real, genuine, like, yo, I'm not just doing what I'm supposed to. Like, if you leave my song and you didn't think at all, not that I think these other 2 songs that are out right now, the singles, really encompass that so much, because they're more specific. They're kind of obviously about a girl, whereas,
like, more storytelling.
Right, yeah, and like telling you my perspective on an issue. But like, when I was really into hip hop, I was writing political ass bars, and I want you to hear it and be like, oh wait, whoa, you know, just be thinking. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Think for yourself.
That's why, like, a lot of artists, I want to say now, a lot of older artists dropping, when their albums came out, it was like that. When J. Cole was doing his stuff, like, even his most recent album that he put out, same
KOD, right?
Yeah, same shit.
Yeah.
Like, the first time I was listening to that, it was a really good wake up call, because I was like, whoa, the market's saturated now.
Yeah, bro, dude, when that came out, I was at work. I went outside and said, sorry, everybody, like, fuck it all. I'm listening to at least half of this album right now. I sat in the back of the pickup bed of the truck and hid under the truck so no one could see me, and was just listening to this album. And I wasn't even in a hip-hop wave at that time, and I was so fucking inspired by how genuine his standpoint was. Like, I was like, I'm making a rap album.
Yeah,
I didn't do it, but
I feel like a lot of times, though, in like the rap hip hop world, only those guys kind of hover around those issues and sharing that. I don't know why that doesn't really make it as much, because it does, but not as much in the rock and pop. And
that's a good point, yo. I never really thought of that, and I think that's why I gravitate to hip hop, is that genuineness of, like, hip hop is like about, like, it's telling you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. Like, it doesn't care about your opinion. It's supposed to be just organic and genuine. You know what I mean? I mean, that's a good point. I get why pop doesn't do it, because pop is commercial. It's music that is...
They're making it to sell it.
Yeah, exactly. That music is based on demand.
Yeah.
Like, we're just trying to pump it out and give you more and more and more. And that's also where is contesting the room for these guys that are talking about political issues and stuff like that, or not political issues, but just societal things that, like,
are happening.
Most people are overlooking, like, this serious problem of drug culture getting pushed in popular music, like promoting to kids to do shit that, like, is super self-damaging and subdues you, makes you lazy, makes you feel bad about yourself, and, like, causes you to just want to sit at home and be on drugs.
Yeah, there's so many side effects.
There's so many, and it's never talked about. Like, yo, at the end of the day, like, okay, you can make an album about lean and how you do lean, but, like, you don't have even one song about that one time you woke up the next day and felt like shit? Like, it must have happened at least once, bro. You know what I mean? At least caution the kids a little, like, hold up, though. By the way, you might want to throw up at the end of the day. Like,
seriously, though. Yeah, if there was a little bit more perspective on those things, I think the world would be a little bit better.
I just feel like the music we get a lot now, like a lot of mainstream music, is telling you what to think, and as opposed to telling you to think. And those guys like J. Cole, those guys like Kendrick, they're telling you to think. And they're also usually providing examples of where they want you to think by talking about like violence in the streets of their hometown, like Compton and stuff like that for Kendrick.
Yeah.
He's not promoting that shit. It's just what he knows.
Yeah.
And he's shining light onto it.
Yeah.
And
experiences.
Like, right? And when you hear it and it doesn't resonate with you because you're like, well, I'm not out getting shot at on my way to school or selling drugs. Mm-hmm. It's like, because I had that problem for a while. And it's like, you don't look at it like that. You look at it as trust that this person's being honest and like giving you a picture of the life that like other people live. So like if it's making you uncomfortable to listen, like there's 4 bitches outside and my homie just got shot for selling a pack. And you're like, that's so degenerate. Why are they talking about that? Why are you promoting it? It's like, it's actually happening. It's in their community. Like he's actually just trying to paint a picture. He's like, he agrees with you. It is fucked. Mm-hmm. We need to change it. That's why he's talking about it. But if everybody wants to shut that dialogue down because it doesn't cater to their needs or what they want, or this picture of...
Which happens most often.
For sure. And I mean, for most people it will. Because honestly, a lot of people listening to music aren't artists. Like if you're not an artist and you're listening to stuff, or you're not just really that into music, it's really a consumption-based thing like any other market there is out there. Mm-hmm. Like they just want new. They just want to know that all their other friends are going to sing at the club with them. They don't want to like go home and turn the lights off and listen to Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd and like be on a trip. You know what I mean? Go for the ride. Be there for the journey.
Yeah.
And like that. But so there was stuff like that actually, I guess, when rock too. Like if you look at Pink Floyd, like they're pretty political, man. Like, money.
I guess it's not like there's more thinking involved
with their stuff.
Well, specifically that, but like, and more. Maybe it's just harder to write. I don't know. I don't want to make assumptions. But like,
maybe it was just because it was older times too. So there was less room for this dialogue. Where now, because of the internet and because everyone can put up whatever they want, if you look at industries like media industries, they kind of have to bend. Like censorship laws are coming down. You go on Netflix, they're promoting a Netflix special. I click it thinking it's must be wholesome if Netflix is promoting it. Mm-hmm. And then Killer Mike's in a strip club and there's like tits out and I'm watching it in the living room with my family and I'm like, oh, I had no idea this was gonna happen. I'm so sorry. And like cussing doesn't get bleeped out on Netflix ever. Like in a show.
That's true.
Watch TV. If you pay for cable, nobody's swearing. So like these older industries for media.
I haven't thought about that.
They will have to adapt, bro.
Yeah.
Like they'll have to realize that people like the freedom of being able to just choose for themselves. Mm-hmm. So like you can't tell me what's appropriate and what's not appropriate all the time. like I hear swearing every day. Like it's part of life. I get that you don't want kids seeing it.
Yeah.
But like because these censorship laws are being pulled back, I think it's giving people an outlet to be more vocal in a genuine sense. Whereas like when Pink Floyd was coming out, like it was a record label, they were in charge of everything. They had to green light stuff.
Yeah.
You had to be approved, you know? There's a standard to meet. Whereas now it's like, I could do this in my basement all day. Yeah. Tame Impala's making everything by himself, getting nominated for awards and shit. Like that's crazy, bro. Bahamas, same thing. Like there's these groups that like you wouldn't have seen back in the day because it was impossible.
Because they have all the tools to basically do it themselves. Which is amazing.
The only thing an independent artist lacks, if they're talented, compared to a label artist, is label money, label connections, and label network. That's it.
True.
Like if your music is still good, you just have to figure out that second bag, and you could do it independently.
Yeah.
It's hard, but it's doable.
Plus you're avoiding that like I'm assuming that people get sometimes pushed into what to make. Because they'll put out an album, it does really well, and they're like, do the exact same thing over again. Exactly. But maybe those artists want to go and try something
and grow.
Yeah.
Like, and that's my biggest fear. Sometimes I'm like, I hope no one ever tries to box me in like that.
Yeah, but I think what you're doing, you're specifically right from the get-go, not pigeonholing yourself.
I'm really trying not to.
I can do more than one thing. I like more than one thing, and like. That's what I'm going to do.
Like, exactly. Dude, I have songs that are straight auto-tune, trap bangers I've made that are like, the beat slaps. Maybe the song's not good, but the beat is at least slapping. And I'm like, I want to put this out, but I'm afraid it won't get received in the same realm of feasibleness with Streetlights and She the Type. And then I have a song called Waste My Time. Like, please don't waste my time. Like, and it's banger. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But like you said, I don't want to pigeonhole myself. So it's kind of good to be putting out these. You'll see with the EP, like you'll see I think the biggest thing about me is I have an eclectic sound. It is me pulling from a broad range of things and trying to amalgamate them. I just want them all to come together and not sound like you're listening to a Young Thug song and then there's a blues guitar solo. But it sounds like Young Thug making a blues guitar sample or something. You know what I mean? Like making it all mesh.
Yeah, a little more like cohesion in it.
Exactly.
Can you give do you feel like 3 albums or artists that people need to listen to? You could do like maybe either super specific or like not specific if you just want to go artist or albums or even a song.
I can just tell you like albums or songs that were really, really important to me and like I think people should listen to as a result of like it made me feel a type. Like, bro, I'm still gonna spin 2014 Forest Hill Drives by J. Cole from start to finish. That's not really the album I want to co-sign because everyone knows it because it's fire, but like that, there's something to be said about an album that came out how many years ago?
Yeah,
and there's a song at the end that's 15 minutes long and it's just him talking most of it. And like if you're a real J. Cole fan, you don't skip it. You just listen to him talk about the album at the end and love it because it's fire. But I would say, okay, actual 3, you need to listen to Blonded by Frank Ocean. Or Channel Orange. Frank Ocean. You need to go dive into Frank Ocean's catalog if you love art. Like it's a must.
Wait, did you hear the new stuff with him? Like just the rumors and stuff that
he has a thing coming out?
Yeah.
I think I saw one tweet actually. I thought you said something was out. I was like,
no.
Dude, yeah. Frank Ocean drops. I'm like I'll leave this podcast right now and go listen to the song.
But I saw some stuff, but I'm like, I'm not sure if it's rumors or if stuff's actually happening.
I wonder because when he came back to Instagram and like he reopened his Instagram recently sometime this year or like just at the end of 2018 and it was like, Frankie, what's going on, bro? you don't come out of hiding for nothing. Like I think we're going to get some new Frank Ocean music soon and I'm amped. Like, dude, Channel Orange album that like made high school for me and I bump religiously still. Like is not dating. It's quality music.
Yeah.
Always recommend it.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, love it.
100% agree.
Another really a classic album. Or honestly, an artist I've been listening to a lot recently because I'm trying to get a little more back into singer-songwriter stuff. And I can't really give you too much insight on it, but it's Bahamas. Like,
dude, I love Bahamas.
Oh, my God, bro. This guy's shit is unreal. The songs are just amazing. There's this vibe. They're like, it's like the only happy music I love where I'm like, yeah, I know I want to be happy and listen to this. Because he even finds a way to be kind of sad in his happy songs. Dude, that's cool to me.
Yeah, dude. He has like a happy song about depression.
Exactly. He's talking about like my wife thinks I'm some low life and it's like the happiest sounding thing I've ever heard. And I'm like, that's really sad. Like, that probably sucks, dude. I like anything that's like pushing, like it's a clear artistic idea. Like that's cool artistry. To write something sad, but the aesthetic is happy. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For me, that's like always an appealing thing with music. If I had to do one more, oh man, I listen to so much different stuff. It's so hard.
Give me something that's like old,
like a classic, a throwback album. Okay, honestly, I have to say, Black Star by Black Star. Like I have to. Like it's actually incredible, dude. It's like. Look at the date it came out in. It's like from, I think, mid-90s. They're being...
Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
It's boom bap era. They're being conscious. They're being woke. You have Mos Def, who's like an amazing fucking MC. Talib Kweli, who's unreal too. And then DJ High-Tech. So you get these 3 icons that come together and make a group called Black Star. At a time when hip-hop was kind of... Like there wasn't... Drake hadn't kind of bridged that R&B and hip-hop scene yet. Like it wasn't really as accepted to talk about your feelings, I feel like. At that time, it was kind of shifting.
Yeah.
But like to be intellectual and making hip hop and not just portraying some type of more street life, because that's just where it comes from. So naturally, that's what the content was centered around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you get these guys that are like doing like a Tribe Called Quest type thing where they're being woke and like making intelligence seem appealing and using like 5-syllable words that are like I barely can say in speech and they're rhyming them. Like it's like. You got to really put the context of when this came out and be like, wow, bro, this is amazing. You're trying to wake people up and think. That's the thing about Black Star. I'm not a poor black man that grew up in a ghetto. I can't relate 100% to that, but I can relate to struggling. I can relate to lower income living. I can relate to that fight inside yourself that you want to strive for more and you want people to think. Yeah. And I think that's what they did.
And appreciate where they're coming from.
Yeah, and always be like, and kind of like, they're not ashamed of their roots. I fuck with that. You don't have to have a good story, bro. You don't have to come from a good place. But you have to like not bury it. You have to acknowledge it. And you want to change it, you talk about it. You know, you need to create dialogue. And that's what they were doing. And then they have stuff that's bangers and they have stuff that's vibes and a half on that same album. Like, I highly recommend Black Star by Black Star. Self-titled album. Unfucking real, bro.
Cool. Sweet, man. So your EP, no final date.
No final date, but I will say, I want to tell you guys March.
Sometime in March.
At the worst case scenario,
or
May.
April.
Yeah, April. I can't do months. I don't count. I don't know the song. Whatever. I make my own songs.
And do we have a name?
Yeah. It's called Circumstances. So that was kind of, I didn't know if I wanted to share it, but
it's
not a big deal. No, it's like I should. It is definitive. It's Circumstances. That's why I was saying it's this idea of, it's just an amalgamation of circumstances, of things that happened to me, circumstances that pushed me in a certain way, that brought me to a certain thing. You know,
I like that. That's cool.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. I hope people feel that way too.
Cool. All right. So you heard it. Look out for it. Where can people find it? Where can they find you?
Sorry. Yeah. Wow. You can find me on Instagram at BRVN Music. You can find me on Twitter at BRVN Music. I'm on Spotify, I'm on iTunes, I'm on SoundCloud, I'm on Deezer, I'm on all major streaming platforms right now, and YouTube and stuff like that. Whatever you need. If you get to my Instagram at BRVN Music, click my link tree in my bio. You can find everything. There's a button there. It says SoundCloud, it says iTunes, it says Apple Music. Whatever the hell you are listening on is there.
But if you're just on like iTunes or Spotify, it's just BR.
Sorry, yeah, if you're going, thank you. You caught me. Good. If you go onto your Apple Music or you go onto Spotify and you type in BRVN, I'll be the artist. It's best, because I have such limited content at the moment, that the algorithms aren't acknowledging me as greatly. You should put a song title, so BRVN Streetlights, BRVN She the Type. I will be the first person that comes up in those cases. But if you just put BRVN, you may have to search just a smidge harder. It's just a little. It's not deep. You're not gonna go 3 pages back or something, but you're gonna have to scroll down 1, 2. You know,
it's all good. So that's what you're looking for, and look out for new EP soon.
Circumstances, baby.
Man. Woo! Thanks for coming out. I'm really stoked that we actually got to do this.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. I've been looking forward. Like, I'm down. I live to talk shit and make music. So, like, podcasts and music promo. This is it's perfect. Jinx.
That's it for this episode. Be sure to keep your eye out for Braven's new EP, and you can listen to it on whatever streaming platform that is your favorite. But as always, thanks for listening. And I'll leave you with a single called She the Type off Braven's new EP that is set to release on April 5th. So look out for it.
She the type. She's the type to tell you. She's the type to tell you. She's the type to tell you. She the type to tell you that she love you. She the type to turn around and judge you. I'm alive, I don't wanna rush you. I'm alive, I just wanna trust you. This ain't right, why you causing so much pain? Why you on that app again? Say that you don't want me, just say it to my face, and I promise I'll be your feet. She the type to tell you not to worry. She the type to tell you that she's sorry. She the type to make the lines blurry. She the type to leave you in a hurry. All my life I just wanna love you, babe. I just wanna love you, babe. I just wanna love you, I just wanna trust you. I don't wanna cut you off. But the circumstances, they demanded. You couldn't manage, you didn't plan it. I wanna be the one to make your heart jump at your chest from the minute that the song starts. I'ma leave your arms standing with some goosebumps.